This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network. And joining me today is Jeff Hasham. He's the CEO of Redishred Capital Corp. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is KUT on the TSX Venture. And Redishred will be presenting at our upcoming in-person investor conference, the Planet MicroCap Showcase, happening May 3rd through the 5th. 2022 at Bally's Casino and Resort in Las Vegas. For more information to register and see Jeffrey's presentation, please go to www.planetmicrocapshowcase.com. And with that, Jeff, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
Great, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on. So this is you've presented a couple of our events before, but this is our first time doing an interview together to find out a little bit more about the business. So can you start us off with that quick overview and history of Redishred?
Yeah, well, the history is not quick, so I'm gonna have to give you the very condensed version. Redishred actually started as ProShred, and ProShred is still our largest brand. And you can imagine ProShred is in the shredding business. So we shred paper, products, hard drives. We shred on site, and we shred primarily for small, medium-sized enterprise companies. So that's our primary brand. We have sort of two channels, if you will, of providing the service, one through franchisees and one through corporately owned operations. And that's important because our strategy and our goal is over time, when franchisees are looking to retire, and a lot of them will be looking to retire soon, is to buy them and to continue to develop our footprint then through acquisitions of shredding companies. We also have two other businesses, ProScan, which is in the scanning, digital imaging, scanning and hosting business. Smaller business, but very high growth business. And we're very excited about that business as well. And then Secure Recycle, which is an electronics waste company headquartered in Kansas City. Perfect location for us there. So we've got these three businesses. You can see the flavor is very much information security, very much recycling, very much doing the right thing for our customers and helping them retain their information the right way, dispose of their information in a secure way, and of course, in a green way. So that's in a nutshell. ProShred has been around since 1986, and Redishred Capital Corp has owned the ProShred brand and now these other brands since 2008 when we completed our qualifying transaction.
Very good. So shredding, recycling, most people might think, wait, what? I don't even know. I didn't even know people still use paper at our businesses. So can you tell us about what makes Redishred unique and different compared to just your good old fashioned, your store-bought shredder and then just throwing it in the trash? Some folks might think, oh, why do we need produce when you could just do that?
Yeah, well, let's start with the latter and then we'll move to the former part of the question. First of all, if you're a company and you produce any piece of paper with any information on it or any digital piece of paper with any information on it, you have an obligation under the many, many rules and regulations in the United States to protect that information. And it could be as simple as a sticky note that has a client piece of information on it. That needs to be protected. And the only way to protect it is to destroy it once. So you need to secure it, whether it's physical or digital, and then you need to destroy that information. And more and more states in the United States, there is a life cycle to holding that. You can't hold the information for more than a certain period of time. So that's number one. So that's the beauty of this business, is that we solve a problem that is legislated by the government. And if you're not doing the right thing as a company, you could be fined, you could be jailed. There's many, many things that could happen that are bad. So why not spend $100 a month for shredding to take care of that problem? Or why not spend a certain amount of money to digitize your documents so you can have them and secure those documents and have them accessible when you want to have them accessible. So that's the first part. And so why would you buy a shredder from Staples and use that? Well, don't know. They break, they're flimsy, and do you really want to spend time shredding all that paper? No, just use our service. We spend more on coffee service than we do on shredding in this office, and that's probably most offices. Let me talk about paper. Paper is not going anywhere. In fact, this year, in the first 3 quarters of this year, our tonnage was up 10% year over year. So why is tonnage up? And people go, well, what's going on? People aren't holding on to paper. No, they're not storing paper. They're digitizing their paper and then they're shredding it. They're not storing as much paper, but they still create paper, and they create paper on demand. They digitize a document. Then once they digitize it, they might print some of it, all of it. And then when they're done with it, they put it in our bin because they know it's secure. That's why our tonnage is up. And that's paper certainly isn't going anywhere soon. Certainly the storage of paper is reducing. So our business model is to provide that $100 a month service to take care of their paper on demand. And that's how we're winning.
What does the competitive landscape look like? You know, industrial shredding.
Yeah, well, look, for our type of shredding, there's really a handful of larger players. The two largest would be Iron Mountain and Shred-it. They're the behemoths in our industry. Iron Mountain, for example, is mainly a document storage company that happens to do shredding. Shred-it, it was bought by Stericycle. Both shred in plants primarily. They do some on-site shredding on the truck, but primarily plants. We're the next largest shredding company, the most pure play shredding company. The vast majority of our shredding is done on the truck. The biggest difference, though, is we target small, medium-sized enterprise, where our competitors target larger Fortune 1,000, 2,000 companies. So that's our advantage, in that we can go into a building and knock out 10 customers in a few hours and move on to the next building. So we can still get route density. We can still get good economics versus going to one client, let's say the Bank of America building, and servicing them all day. That's another way to do it, but that's not our way.
Got it. And what's your background? I mean, how'd you come into all this?
Doesn't everybody grow up wanting to get in the shred business?
You took the words, the joke out of my mouth. That was too good.
Yeah, it's look, I'm an accountant by training, so I'm a in Canada a chartered accountant, and now it is actually called a CPA in Canada. I was fortunate enough that I wasn't very sure what I wanted to do, so I also did my MBA, and then I wound up, after spending some time at EY and in firms, I went into industry in CFO roles and did a bunch of turnarounds. ProShred was my first expansion. Like yourself, you've got young kids. At a certain point, you don't want to be doing turnarounds, and ProShred was an expansion. And here I am 17 years later to the day almost, that ProShred is now got a run rate well over $40 million a year in revenue, and well over $10 million EBITDA. And for me, why do I like doing what I'm doing? Why are we doing what we're doing? Is I've got a great team. The team knows what they need to do. The vision is clear. Let's take care of our customers. Let's make it easy for them, whether it's shred, scan, or e-waste. So yeah, I'm an accountant that became a business operator, and now the very nice thing is I get to work on the business and really drive the growth. And we've been very fortunate to be able to access the capital markets and really drive our growth from acquisition and organic. So it's been a privilege.
Listen, I love that you embrace the shreddingness of all of it. I mean, how can you not have a good sense of humor when you're in the shredding business? I love it. So Jeff, to close us out here today, before I let you go, what would you say are some of the company's value catalysts now for the rest of 2022?
Yeah, look, the company has executed on the game plan. So, even through COVID, I mean, here's the beautiful thing about our business. We're COVID resistant. Resilient. We were down in 2020 on a same store basis, but we were down about 15%. We're one of the lucky ones, but that's on same store. But we were still acquiring, so we were still adding revenue that way. For us, it's, if we buy something, grow it. So it isn't good enough to just buy it and let it fade away. We want to buy it, and then we want to add our sales and marketing engine to continue to grow it. So organic growth on a same location basis is very critical. We also want to buy smart. We are not the volume buyers. We want to buy our franchisees when they come due. And then we want to buy one of many, there's 750 independents in the United States. We want to buy those and tuck those in to create more route density. So it's a very simple strategy. Organically grow it, buy our franchisees, and then buy independents to tuck in. And so for us to go from that $40+ million in revenue and $10+ million in run rate EBITDA, my franchisees have 30 million in revenue and 10 million in EBITDA. And then we've got another, if we buy 5% of the independents, that's another 30 million and another 10. I think you can see where we're going. Just by doing what we're doing, we're hoping to get there, all things being equal, and we've been executing. So we're again very privileged that we've been able to do what we've been able to do, especially in the last 2 years. It's been quite rewarding.
And Jeff, with that, where can our audience go and find more information on Redishred?
Great, thank you. 2 websites. First website is www.redishred.com, redishred.com. The other one is proshred.com. So www.proshred.com, proshred.com. Very simple, very easy. Please visit, and we really look forward to attending this conference in person in Las Vegas. Thanks for doing this, Robert.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me today. Good luck, stay safe, and we'll see you in Vegas.
For sure.